Micah. I'm here with JUSSI Varjo, and I just tried the latest version of the Varjo headset. They also demonstrated a brand new eye tracking technology that they developed themselves, and in head-to-head comparison, internal testing, you've discovered that it's better than your biggest competitor in eye tracking.
Yeah, so we have now the latest prototype of our headset, and like you said, we've been improving that, like with every generation of product prototypes we have done. And yeah, I'm really glad that you found it really well. And the new thing that we are now showing for the first time is the eye tracking capability of our headset. And yeah, we kind of believe that it's something very unique that many people, when they have seen it, they think that they haven't seen anything like that in the wild.
Let's talk about who the big customers are for Varjo, because you're not aiming this to be a consumer headset.
Yeah, so what we are doing from the very beginning is that we wanted to make the absolute best VR headset for industrial use. And it's linked because many times in a consumer technology, I worked in a consumer technology past. In my days at Nokia, it's like you have to make a lot of trade-offs when you make those kind of products, and it's very cost-driven. And at Varjo, when we think about the technology we wanted to create, we wanted to make the absolutely best VR headset possible. And at the same time, that's where the kind of demand for this kind of technologies is in the enterprise sector. And out from the enterprise, when we came out from the stealth mode about 1 year ago, we started to get a lot of emails from the companies. And we quickly discovered that there were mainly like 3 different use cases where we started to get these requests for demos. One was AEC, so architecture, engineering, and construction, where naturally when you are building a big building or designing a large construction, it's a very expensive project. So when you are looking for customer acceptance for your prototypes, you can easily save a lot of money if you can be inside that building and you can see all the details and the colors and shadows and all that. So very interesting use case for that one. Then the second one was training and simulation. So for example, pilot training is the physical kind of like these simulators are very expensive to operate and very expensive to use. So, and the problem what the current consumer grade VR technology was that you couldn't, since they are fairly low resolution, you couldn't read maps or read individual buttons or anything like this. So when we showed our technology, then it became possible to actually do that. So training and simulation is a big second vertical, and the third one is design. And there we were, as we came out from the stealth mode, contacted by a lot of car companies, car manufacturers. And for example, design prototyping can be slow, it can be expensive when you need to do physical prototypes to experience it. And at the same time, with the VR prototyping, people couldn't see the material details, the details on curves, lighting, internal information screens, for example. And now with the Varjo headset and our bionic display, all that became possible. So basically we learned that it's AEC, training and simulation, and design, which were the most promising verticals where we start to get a lot of contacts. So that's where we are in terms of who will be our customers.
So I think the big value proposition, as I see it, getting to try the Varjo headset on multiple occasions, you can really, like, unlike other lower resolution headsets, you can really see small writing. You can really see the textures and materials on the interior of a car model.
Yeah, exactly. So that has been our kind of like focus on making sure that there's not a detail that is small enough that you couldn't see it on our device. And it's for like professional designers, it's super important to see those small details in materials, understand how different kind of lighting affects those materials, and also being able to see objects that are far away. that with a lower resolution devices you cannot really see details that are far away because everything needs to be super big, like you said. And about the texting, and you can read now text and you can see all these kind of small things. So we have this saying that, you know, if you don't see the small details, you kind of miss the big picture, and that's what we are able to do now, that you see the small details and it feels like you are actually in not in a virtual world, but in a kind of real world inside of VR.
So from the demo that I just tried, you you start to feel really confident when you, with eye tracking, you start to feel confident that your eyes selecting exactly the thing you want to look at.
Yeah, exactly. So we've been developing that algorithm for good parts of 1.5 years, basically, when the company was started. And this was the first time that we kind of publicly show it. And what is amazing about it is when you're reading text, you kind of like see how the eye tracks even like individual letters. And yeah, I've never seen anything like that. We believe that it will be a big thing in, for example, data analysis. So when pilots, for example, can later after the training session, they can like go over what they actually paid attention to. Other people can you know make analysis on behalf of that. But it's also the accuracy and preciseness that we have in our eye tracker enables also innovative user experiences kind of around it, so that like in your demo that you saw when you were looking at the airplane, it popped up more information about it and so on. So I think it was really important for us that the accuracy of that one was high enough that it can be used for like next generation user experiences as well.
Can you talk a little bit about the development of the eye tracking? There was a presentation the other day that I saw that I think Varjo did.
Yeah, I would have given a great keynote about that one. But basically, we wanted from the beginning to do something that the industry hasn't seen before, and this is a long time in development. And I think the main thing is that it's completely designed and created by Varjo ourselves. And it's a combination, it's really a combination of hardware and software. And like if you want to make the best technology, we have this feeling that yes, you need to do the best hardware, but also the best software around it. And we are using only the best components in tracking your eyes, in recording your eyes, and how it's then combined with our software. That's the kind of the secret sauce.
I'm also a developer who uses brain-computer interface devices and web VR, and I think a big value proposition for your headset to the really big companies that will buy this, it's a 5 to 10K headset, right? Is you kind of touched on it. It's the fact that you can do effective computing. You can analyze user behavior with these very high resolution models and the very high resolution eye tracking that's very, very fast. You could send that data into a neural network and correlate someone's biometric activity, their heart rate activity, their brainwave activity with the eye tracking and the models, and you can start to predict what the user start to make predictions about what the user likes, it doesn't like, and you need the kind of precision and the high resolution of both eye tracker and the glasses to do next level effective computing. I mean, this is going to be huge for a whole bunch of industries who want to understand the human element of how the human being responds to their product, and I just think that's incredibly promising.
No, I think it's great. I think what you said, I totally agree, and at the same time, it's very inspirational to see that kind of technology where many people were thinking like you have to wait for that for 5 or 10 years, and I think that's the best part in working in a company like Varjo and being part of that, is that you are able to pull the future closer to the present at kind of increased speed, and that's exactly what we're doing. And at the same time, we want to serve the whole kind of like VR and AR community to make things happen that people were thinking like, no, I have to wait for those for a longer time. And I believe that everything that we are doing is serving the upcoming next big shift in computing, where it goes from, came originally from like a mainframe, then to desktop, then to handheld, and now the next phase is of course in a monitorless world where you are like immersed, like immersive computing basically, and all these kind of technologies that we are creating is serving like starting the next big age of computing, which we believe is the immersive age.
Hey, thanks very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much.